Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Doing Dating Right show. I'm your host, Ashley Empowers.
And I'm your other host, Carrington.
And on this show, we answer the questions that you guys send in about dating, relationships, or really anything in general. And today...
I'm reading that.
You're going to read the question?
I'm reading the question today, all right?
Okay.
So the question today says this. My first question is this. Well, questions of the day. My first question is this. How can you avoid problems in marriage from having sex before marriage with your partner? I've already had sex with my partner and plan to get married. I feel a bit worried that we may have brought lots of extra complications to our future marriage because of the sexual sins. To make the question more clear, does sex before marriage always equal a rocky marriage? I also have a second question. How can we stop sinning sexually? We sometimes go without sex for months in a row, and somehow we fall and have sex and ruin that streak. What would you guys advise for those who don't have sex for a few months and then fall into sexual sin again?
Yeah, this is a great and very relevant question.
100%.
And it happens to a lot of people. And what I hear is that this question is coming from a place of fear and a place of shame.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've already had sex before marriage doesn't mean it's the end of the world for you or your marriage.
100%.
Now, we do believe that it is important that you're honoring God with your body and in this relationship. And if you continue to have sex, it can make the relationship toxic.
100%.
So you want to set boundaries. So just because you've had sex before marriage doesn't mean your marriage is doomed.
Yeah.
God loves you. He's for marriage. He is forgiving. And what you need to do is just physically put boundaries in place to really help you guys from not falling into temptation.
100%. And so even if you look at Ash and I's story, we weren't perfect in our dating season, but what we did do is once we made mistakes, we pivoted. We created boundaries, we created standards, we created expectations. But this you got to understand, the reason why we were able to do that is because we both desired to be pure and righteous in the relationship. And so along with creating boundaries, creating standards, even before you do that, you need to have a conversation with your boo. I'm gonna say your boo, with your boo, and confirm whether or not he's on board with being sexually abstinent, whether he's on board with really going the long haul with that thing. Because if he isn't, then you wasting your time anyways, right? Y'all gonna continue to fall. But if he's on board, then that means that he has to show the same level of commitment, if not more than you're showing, so that with these boundaries being put in place, you guys are both being very intentional about sticking to it and not creating the space or the environment where y'all can fall into it.
Yeah.
So once again, we wasn't perfect in our single season, but our marriage is still blessed.
Yeah.
So don't allow yourself to be held in bondage to past decisions. Just do better.
Exactly. Perfectly said. And how you said is, how can you guys stop sinning sexually? Boundaries and accountability.
There we go.
So if you're staying the night at each other's house, stop. If you are crossing the line in other areas, but you're not all the way having sex, stop.
For sure.
And just understand the concept of temporary sacrifice. People think they're going to have to abstain forever. It is not forever. It is for a season. And in that season, it's so valuable because you can draw closer to God. You're growing in the fruits of the Spirit. You're growing in self-discipline. You're growing in so many different areas. And accountability and boundaries is what I would recommend.
Last thing I would add is this. Instant gratification delays gratification. So when you make decisions that instantly gratify you, you're truly delaying the gratification that you actually seek. Be willing to wait because it's worth the wait.
Man, that makes me think of diet and exercise. This Twinkie.
We ain't even about to talk about this food.
This food look good, but it's delaying. You trying to be
try to get some abs, you feel me?
Listen.
All that.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sending in this question. If anyone else has questions for us, email us at
info@802gametime.com.
Also, make sure you're following us on social media. I'm at Ashley Empowers.
And I'm at The Character Brown. And listen, sis, for you and everybody else on here that may be struggling with that challenge of temptation and implementing boundaries and implementing standards and expectations, man, you can schedule a free call with me. We can jump on it, see what your specific situation is, and create a plan of productivity and help you get to where you desire to get to in that relationship and implement what needs to be implemented in order for you guys to glorify God to the highest capacity in your dating phase.
Absolutely, because that's what we want for you. So the link is in the description box below, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, y'all.